Welcome. Tonight I'd like to talk to you about the Houston Police Department and the interactions that they've had with the Houston Freethinkers. Over the past 3 years, we've dealt with them at the Federal Reserve. They've pulled shotguns on us. We've dealt with them at senators' offices. We've gone to Tampa and dealt with Department of Homeland Security. I've gone to DC and dealt with airport cops there. We've dealt with airport cops here in our own city. So we've dealt with the cops from all different agencies a number of times over the past few years, and since that's happened, we've noticed a presence at every one of our events now. Whenever we post events on Facebook or through our personal pages on Facebook, we notice a black Dodge Charger that started following us about a year and a half ago. The first officer that followed us was Officer Cram. He's since left. Now we got a new guy, Officer Tram. Hello, Officer Tram. So it's no big surprise for us to realize that we're being monitored and followed by HPD. But recently, we did get confirmation that this was taking place at a degree that we were unaware of. Through some anonymous contacts and a Houston area police department, we were put in touch with certain communications that describe the HPD having a training session where they're showing officers our videos off YouTube. Now I'm going to read to you a couple of quotes from these emails directly so you can get an idea of what they're describing our group as. I've seen the intel they have on HFT. It's very scary. You'd think they were a violent organization. I've been forced to watch videos they have on them, having to keep my mouth shut. I totally support HFT. He goes on to say he sent an email trying to warn us. I don't recall receiving an email, but if you did try to warn us, then I appreciate that, whoever you are out there. He goes on to say as well, they may very well be aware of what I told them, but if not, they need to know that we were shown videos in a class at HPD, HFT's own videos on their own YouTube channel. The instructor was able to name each and every leader, although there are no leaders. I felt HPD has a great disdain for this organization. It's hard to explain, and you'd have to have heard the tone to sense the militarized tone of the instructor. I just wanted them to know to watch their backs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could be infiltrated by undercover officers trying to gather intel. Well, again, thank you for this information. It's not a huge surprise, but it does confirm our beliefs. So where do we go from here now? A group such as the Houston Freethinkers, which considers ourselves to be a community activist alliance, all different opinions, all different ideas come together for common goals, and we get stuff done. We've kicked the TSA out of the Houston Metro. We build community gardens. We hold skill shares. We hold documentary screenings. We have free barbecues. We go out and pass out information. And yes, we protest. And yes, we confront the police and try to hold them accountable. But none of those things are violent in any way, and I believe would warrant us being spied upon or, the focus of a certain training session. But taking into account everything that we've seen happen in this country, the NDA, the recent situation in Boston, it's pretty normal now for 2013 for this to be happening. After the Occupy movement, activists have been focused on more than ever. FBI continues to entrap activists and call it terrorism, so we're very wary of things like this. In fact, I want to send a personal notice to any of you out there who choose to come be a part of the Houston Freethinkers, that if you come to our house or you come to our events and you speak of illegal activities, that we will consider you to be an FBI agent, a cop, or a very idiotic person. Because if you pay attention to anything that we do, then you should be aware that we're watching these things and that we're also being watched. This is the day and age we live, and we have to somewhat accept it while we try to change it. I refuse to go to prison or to get involved in any kind of legal activity over silly comments that people make. And knowing full well that we have been monitored, that we've been tracked at protests, that they're watching our videos and things like that, we have to be careful. And again, any Houston Police Department officers out there, how are you doing? Thanks for checking out our videos. Hopefully you understand what we're about. Hopefully you get a better idea of what the community is. Obviously, this officer says he has no problem with us and he couldn't find anything wrong with the things we were doing. We definitely have not done anything illegal. Now, it may rub you the wrong way and bother you if we know our rights and we know how to confront you and we know how to keep you out of our protests and to stand our ground. But that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to continue to do. We will not be intimidated by HPD. We will not be intimidated by the Tampa Police or the Department of Homeland Security or the federal government or the United Nations or anybody. Houston is free, and Houston will remain free as long as the Houston Freethinkers or any of us are around. So I just want you guys to be aware, if you get involved with our organization, to know that this is taking place. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. So let's stay smart, let's stay free, and HPD, fuck off.